All right. I think everybody's pretty much seated, so we're going to get started here. First of all, welcome to the 2025 Dakota State Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Hopefully you all got enough to eat and the beverages over here. Please feel free to help yourself as the night goes on. We need to take care of all the food. It's all bought and paid for, so we just as well eat it up. That over there, not so much, but that's okay. Help yourself. No, it's great to meet you guys. 3 of the 4 inductees here tonight, I did not know previously, so it's so cool to meet new people that were here at Dakota State. And one of them is no longer with us, but I knew him very well as from back in the day when I was at the high school. So it's really, these things are always fun for me to hear some stories and to listen to you visit amongst each other and such and tell those stories. So we appreciate it very much. And before I start all of my introductions, I would like to call up, the last year I said the captain of this ship. What do you say? Who's running this show? I always like to think I am, but no, I'm really not. But our president, President Griffiths, is our leader, and I would like her to come up and say a few words if she would.
Thank you, Bud. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Yosei Marie Griffiths, the president of this great Dakota State University. And I'm honored to welcome you to this celebratory event as we induct 5 outstanding Trojans into our Athletics Hall of Fame. As we gather to celebrate you and your families on this momentous occasion, I'm mindful of the merging of the past and present that this evening brings. Just across the road is the beginning of our Beacon Premier Complex, where our current and future Trojans will make their marks and perhaps earn consideration in the Athletics Hall of Fame in their own time. A new football stadium, esports arena, and track and soccer field complex have been completed. And we continue our work to build a state-of-the-art arena and indoor dome complex while also bringing baseball and softball fields to campus. And no, I'm not going to ask you for money, so it's okay, relax. Those milestones, however, would not be possible without the people in this room laying a foundation of excellence. To Robin, Ted, Danielle, and Larry, thank you for your commitment to DSU as student athletes, showcasing what can be accomplished through hours of hard work and dedication. We also tonight recognize Brian and his family, who guided his teams to greatness over years as head coach. To our inductees and their families, congratulations on this occasion. We're honored to celebrate with you and look forward to the future with you as our foundation of excellence. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, President Griffiths. She's so much better at this than I am. But before we get started, just some thank yous to people that have not only put this on, but the last 2 weeks have been crazy around here with our trip to Arizona for football, and then this whole week of homecoming. It's just been, I don't know, I think Mike maybe said it best. I think there has been 15 different events or something planned, and it gets long, it gets hard, but it is good. It's good to look out in the audience and see some new faces and family and friends of our inductees, but these things don't happen without good people, and two ladies in my office, Jenny and McKenna, back in the back corner here, make things awful good for me, make us look good, and they do a lot of this along with Miranda and Bryn and Autumn, with the marketing crew that set this up. We appreciate it very much. Aiden and Nick with photography and all the publicity that goes out on social media. We were just talking, I couldn't find Robin. She didn't exist. For a year, I couldn't find her. Everybody's on social media. Robin's not on social media. But this day and age, with social media and everything that goes out there, without people like Nick and the marketing and Aiden, a lot of these things would not be what they are today. And then our foundation with Mike and Jill, Dalton, Braxton, Tom just left. Tom went over to the football field. His son's playing over here. Big game tonight, big game tomorrow, but a big game tonight, number 1 and number 2 in the state. I'm playing over at the Beacom Complex, Brian Kern Stadium. So it's a big night, but Tom's son's plays over there. So Foundation does a lot for what we do. The food, the beverages that are complimentary. Somebody has to pay for it. Stacy, who's paying for this anyway? Anybody know? All right, yeah. All right, we'll take care of that. But no, they do such a great job. We had a foundation meeting earlier today. There's a lot of good things happening at Dakota State, both athletically, both academically. Our students are winning all the time. They're winning in the classroom. They're winning on the fields, and I couldn't be more excited for what's going on here. We have a few coaches in attendance. We got Coach Moe right here. We got Coach Anderson right there. We've got the softball crew of Hunter, Kayla, and Jade over there. Who else am I missing? Is that it? I think so. Alex Glover was the track coach, was going to be here, but he had kids' duties tonight because his wife had to be out of town. But anyway, we appreciate all those here tonight for that. Some reminders to the Hall of Famers in your little box. There are 2 lanyards with all access passes. That gives you access to the field. You can be on the field on the southwest corner of the field. You can go to upstairs. You can go in the stands. You can go to the suites. We're basically wherever you want to go. It's one afternoon of free access to anything we have. There's also tickets in there for all of your party. Not all your party. The boss brought the whole town. We couldn't afford that. Gator will pay for the rest of them, right, Gator? Gator, that's what I heard him say. But anyway, there's tickets, I think, for you to get into the game. Make sure you utilize that. There's a few other little trinkets in there and some a quarter zip and whatnot. So make sure we take care of those. The parade tomorrow, the 4 Hall of Famers. There will be a pickup up by the field house. It's a new route. It's not on Main Street this year. It's starting up north of the field house and heading south down Washington towards Subway. So there'll be a pickup up north. If we could have you there at between 9:15 to load up on there. If your family wants to watch, the watch party is at I call it the Hex, right across from Heston Hall. I think that was all here. You guys aren't that old. It was all here when you were here before. Just south of the old hospital. The residence village is attached to the old hospital. Right there, there's a bleachers, and I think Tom's not here, but I'm pretty sure there'll be coffee, juice, and rolls there for alumni and family. So if you want to be there, Hall of Famers will be in the front of the line, right behind me and President Griffiths in my hot rod golf cart. I don't know why she chose to ride with me, but you didn't have a choice. But we'll get you back as soon as you're done on the parade route. We'll get you back to your family and friends to hang out at that area as soon as you're done with your parade route. So make sure that you're up by the field house. Find who's driving. Jenny will be driving this fancy Prostrello new pickup. I don't know how we trust her with that, but we will. Anyway. Let's see. I think that's all the announcements I have. Anyway, exciting. This is always a great time. For me, not being new to Madison, but being new to Dakota State, to meet new people getting inducted, it's really, it's fun. It's fun talking to them the first time, especially once you finally get a hold of them and you get to talk to them for the very first time. It's very enjoyable for me to hear their expressions and the excitement, because there's only one time you get to have this opportunity, and to be a part of a university that is, as President Griffith says, is rising. We're going to places that, you know, when you were here weren't imaginable, but we're going there, and it's an exciting time to be here. But before we get started, we have one that I'm going to introduce. He is not with us anymore, and we have a recorded acceptance speech from his son. But the late Brian McDermott, basketball coach at Dakota State, back in the, let me get this straight, 1986 to 1995. He accumulated 117 career victories. He guided the Trojans to their first winning season in 23 years in 1990. You think back, that's a long drought there, and he did a great job of that. But we'll all remember his remarkable run in 1992 to the Final Four, the first and only Final Four run for the men's basketball tournament. I won't tell you how it ended because that'll happen in the speech from his son, but he led us to the Final Four in Texas. And I think the Farrells, or Tom, made that trek down there for the Final Four. And then there was some remarkable victories along the way, one being at Aberdeen, down 15, second half, in front of Aberdeen's Northern's a rambunctious crowd of thousands, and we come back from 15 to beat them at the end by 2. And then Brian went on to coach Southern Oregon for 26 seasons, I believe. He's accumulated 410 career wins. 293 of them were at Oregon. He coached Oregon to 7 national tournaments. And he took a program there that was a losing program, very similar to Dakota State, and made it a very, very successful and very competitive and nationally known program. Best yet, here is, some of you will appreciate this, 5'7", 5'8" guy, Bud. Gene Lorenz, our basketball coach at Madison High School, Brian McDermott, his assistant, Ben, we were buddies, and so we were like the odd couple or the odd quad, you know, these 3 guys and then me. We played golf, we played cards all the time. Brian built a new house out at the lake. We were over there all the time, so I got to know Brian very well. So it was very sad when he passed a year and a half ago, but I appreciate him and the other two gentlemen to take this wrestler into their basketball crew and make so many memories that it's unbelievable how many times we talk about it. But with that, I would like to bring up there's Jenny. Bring up Jenny to play Josh's Brian's son, and Josh is the SID for Southern Oregon, who we're playing tomorrow. So they were planning on being here, and they had some family things come up that they couldn't make it. But Josh has a very good video accepting. Even though it became a little more restrained. And fortunately, he did a lot more winning than losing toward the end of his career. I prefer to remember the wins. 10 years ago, when our gym here was being rebuilt, we moved our offices to some abandoned dorm rooms. He kept them in for
Rich in his dorm. And on Saturday nights, he and I would go there and celebrate after games with a few beers. And then this 60-year-old man would sneak the empties out of the dorms in a backpack. Apologies to our athletic director and my longtime boss, Matt Thayer, who is in attendance today. But those are some of the best memories of my life. And the beers were non-alcoholic. So, on behalf of my mother Jan, my sister Josie, I'm sorry we couldn't be there today, but thank you so much to Dakota State for this great honor, for remembering him. Yours was a very special community to my dad, and I know he was reminded of that during the last year of his life when he got to hear from so many of you and talk about that appendix removal. Have a great day.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did because I've watched it like 10 times. And I feel bad that they couldn't make it here because I would love to see Josh up here talking about it because I can't imagine how much fun that would have been. But it was very, very deserving. And wins and losses, you can do it what you want. But when you take over a program that hasn't won in 23 years and you make it a winning program and then you take them to the Final Four, you're deserving of such an honor. So we appreciate Brian and Josh for that and congratulate him. All right, so let's get started with our in-person. And as we call you up, I'll call up the person introducing the Hall of Famer. And if once they're done talking, if they would grab their plaque over here and give that to them. And then after it's all done, we will take pictures for everybody over here at the end for all the 4 Hall of Famers. Okay? So with no further ado, I'd love to call up Dr. Judy Dittman introducing Robin Hagen Hislaw.
I didn't know I had that effect on you, bud. Good evening and welcome, everyone. It is certainly a pleasure to be here. For those of you who don't know, I was an employee of Dakota State for 43 years, so it will be a number of years before I don't know the people that are being inducted into this Hall of Fame, and I enjoy every minute of it. I know you. Yeah. First, I would like to congratulate all of the Hall of Fame inductees. As I said, I had the pleasure of being here when all of you participated. Of course, I coached Robin, and I hired Brian. And so it was his first head coaching job, and we did have some tough moments, but what I will always remember about Brian is his running up and down. I don't know how many miles he would have put in an evening game, but he always wore tennis shoes. And so he was very well known for his tennis shoes and his khaki pants as he coached. He was a joy. Robin. What stories can I tell? And what do I say about you? Congratulations. You are very deserving of this award. Robin has always been active in sports from high school up till even now. She graduated from Parker, where she participated in swimming. I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that. Baseball, softball, volleyball, track, and of course basketball. Her journey to success started her junior year when she was named to the 5th team All-State team in South Dakota, and then her senior year she was named 3rd team All-State. Her success continued when she finally chose to bring her talents to DSU. I say finally because I remember this like it was yesterday. I had her mother recruited before I had her recruited. Her mother was ready to sign a letter of intent long before I finally got Robin to sign one. So she was one of my harder, put your name on the line, dear. Put your name on the line. In those days, of course, we had no cell phones, so it was hard to get a hold of people, and that's why I ended up talking with her mother. And her mom and her dad both were very avid fans. They followed Robin everywhere. I don't think her mom maybe missed but one game during her entire Dakota State career. Now, we didn't go to Bismarck or to, what's that other one way up there? Well, no, even farther. Minot, yes, why not Minot? In 60 below weather. And I know that your parents would be very excited for the honor that you're getting tonight and would be so proud of you. While at DSU, Robin was a 3-year letter winner in volleyball, in which she led the team in attacks and scoring in her senior year. In her senior year, she was also 3rd in blocks on the team, and she's not that tall, so that's quite an accomplishment. She was chosen most valuable attacker, and she was chosen as the captain that year. And she was also selected to the SDIC all-conference team. In addition to that, even more noteworthy, she was named a NAIA District 12 player, and she was the first player from the volleyball team from Dakota State to ever have that award. So very, very distinguished. I have to say, though, and those of you who know Robin, she was an accident always waiting to happen. Always. Always. Her sophomore year, she missed volleyball because she had mono. And then just before basketball started, she broke her hand. And so her junior year, one of the activities they decided to have was a powder puff football game. And I told them, I said, this is really a bad idea. Don't do this because, you know, these women are competitive, and there's no helmets, there's no pads, and this is, you know, just an injury not only waiting to happen, but more than likely was going to happen. And as it turned out, I hated being right, but we took either 4 or 5 players to the emergency room that night. Fortunately, Robin did not have to have any teeth replaced, nor did she have stitches. She just blew out her knee. So she got by pretty easily compared to what some of the other ones had. She ended up having to wear a knee brace her junior and senior year that went up and down her entire leg. I don't know how she moved in the darn thing, but she did, fortunately for us. Then, of course, after that season, she ended up having surgery, but she still ended up having to wear the knee brace. Her basketball achievements were being a 4-year letter winner. She was chosen by her teammates her sophomore year as the hardest worker and was SDIC all-conference in her senior year. In Robin's 4 years of playing the Lady T's, we were conference champions all 4 of those years. She was part of an era of what were called then was the Lady T's, when we won 8 consecutive conference championships. Her statistics her senior year included, and this is her conference statistics, she was 5th in scoring with a 16-point per game average. She was 4th in field goal shooting, which was 51%, and she wasn't a big girl playing under the basket and with layups. She was on the perimeter shooting the ball. She was 4th in free throw percentage at 65%. She was 5th in assists, and she was 11th in rebounds, which was pretty darn good for a 5'8" shooting guard. She was also 9th that year in the NAI All-District field goal percentages, so she was a shooter. In Robin's senior year, we had 3 seniors. We had 6 returners, that included the 3 seniors, and then we had 9 freshmen. And we had lost 4 loaded starters, senior starters, to graduation the year before. And so we were not only a very young team, but we were a very short team. I think in the voting that year, the coaches, you know, they always do a ranking of where they think each team is going to finish in the league. Usually we had always been 1 or 2, and I think that year we were voted 5th or 6th, which made sense. We had just lost 4 seniors and had a very young squad coming in, so, you know, it probably made some sense. But unfortunately for those teams and coaches, they underestimated the competitiveness and the drive of this group. Robin and Julie Hines and Donna Van Bakeren were our 3 seniors. Donna was our 5'10" post player, so that's why Robin had to go rebound. Julie was a 5'6" point guard, and of course, as I said, Robin was a 5'8" shooting guard forward. Honestly, we shouldn't have had a winning year, but we did. And not only did we have a winning year, but we won the conference again that year. And it truly was through their high expectations and their absoluteness in saying this conference championship run is not going to end on our watch. And it didn't, I'm happy to say. Robin remains active after graduation. She taught and coached for 16 years in the Chamberlain and Crow Creek schools. In 2022, she won the state singles championship in darts, as well as the state doubles runner-up. And then last year, lo and behold, she placed 13th at the national doubles championship in Las Vegas. I meant to ask you, were you and your husband? And you're still married. Okay, good deal. That's good. It doesn't surprise me because I always said Robin had an eagle eye when she shot the ball, and having an eagle eye is important in throwing darts. So I did have the pleasure of meeting her husband, Nathan, last night, and many of you will chuckle because you'll recognize this, but for dinner, I took them to the office, and guess what we ate? Skipper's Pizza. Skipper's Pizza, a hot place at that time. Towards the end of my career, one of my jobs was as the dean for the College of Arts and Sciences, the interim dean. And I hadn't seen Robin probably since she walked off the stage at graduation. And all of a sudden, I was pleasantly surprised. She walked into my office in Beadle Hall, and I said, well, what the heck are you doing? And she said, well, we came today and I enrolled both of my sons into programs here at Dakota State, Nathan Jr. and Jacob. So she was there enrolling both of her kids. And so I'm happy to say the tradition continues. Robin was a shooting guard, and she was dang good at it. She had great shooting form, and her shooting technique was something I would have used as a coach, as a teaching video. But as her rebound numbers show, she was also not afraid to mix it up. And as her assists show, she distributed the ball to a teammate who had a better shot. She was tough, she was competitive, and loved sports, and that's why I loved coaching her. Please help me congratulate Robin Hagan Hislaw into the 2025 DSU Hall of Fame. Thank you.
First, I'd like to say I'm very honored to be inducted into Dakota State's Hall of Fame class of 2025. I was fortunate enough to be part of the 83-84 basketball team that was inducted in 2005. Due to unforeseen circumstance, I regrettably was unable to attend this ceremony that year. But this evening, I do not stand here alone. it was because of the individuals I've had the privilege to have benefit from family, coaches, and teammates who I consider friends. Well, it all started on a family farm outside of Parker. You do have to remember that I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s. Sports were about the only thing to do. Really, no computers, very few video games, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, TV, lucky to get 4 stations, and cell phones, what's that? So it starts with family first. I was the youngest of 4. My brother Kevin was 2 years older than me. I was his tag-along, trying to keep up with him. He was tough on me, but not letting me win or not letting me have my way. All in long, instilling toughness, the competitiveness, but overall, very, very supportive. Thanks, Kev. And my parents, my dad, AVIC truck driver, therefore was on the road a lot. When he was at my games, I could always hear him, bend your knees, arch. And then, yes, my mom. I was her baby, and yes, I will admit it, she spoiled me and would have done everything for me. The miles she traveled through all those years, 5 states, I don't think she missed one volleyball game or basketball game, unless, of course, I was injured, or even the one game my senior year I missed in volleyball, suspended. Even after college, she followed me through softball for another 20 years. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I wish they were here. Starting competitive sports in Parker, most of the focus was on our boys basketball team, legendary Coach Gail Hoover. And rightfully so. But through Gail Hoover, some other good players that became coaches, Ron Flynn, Kelly Flynn, Ron Nelson, Mike Bagaman. They were all under him and did good. My high school coaches, Terry List and Roger Deutsch. And speaking of coaches from high school, an assistant coach, Connie Flieger, who kind of surprised me and showed up tonight. She was part of it. But Coach List and Connie were the volleyball coaches before volleyball even became an official sport. At the time, Parker was able to host 2 tournaments before South Dakota High School Association made it an official sport, thanks to those coaches. After high school, I was fortunate to come to Dakota State. But at the same time, 2 of my former teammates, which include my cousin, Peggy Nelson, went to Sioux Falls College. And then another one, Karen Gortmaker, attended Dakota Wesleyan the following season. From former teammates to high school being opponents, it was pretty unique having to play against them. A couple other from Parker that had big names were Nikki Wilson and Abby Plucker from North Dakota. Abby being the daughter of another one of my teammates, Kelly Hay. Thanks, ladies. And like Coach said, the injuries, they started early. And my sophomore year, I played through basketball and volleyball with broken ribs. The beginning of my junior year, we get a new coach, Roger Deutsch, coming in. Oh, here's your supposed to be a good athlete, broken ankle. I got the cast off a few days before practice started. Then also my junior year, chicken pox. I missed 2 volleyball games, and then also had a season-ending knee injury that needed surgery to close out my junior year. But my freshman year, oh no, Coach already talked about all my injuries. But the powder puff, Tom Farrell's sitting back there. After that powder puff game, I think he was ready to kill me. He did get back. After that week, I was in a cast from thigh to ankle. Good thing I had work study. I had to drive the volleyball team to the hills for their games. Wasn't very comfortable. But so, getting to volleyball, there was one consistency, and that was Tom Farrell. We had other assistant coaches, Joyce, his wife, Steve was one, and we had a couple other player coaches, Kathy Broomsma and Karen Pony Miller. And I will be using nicknames because it seems like in my college day, we all had them. So the junior year, there was only 10 of us total. Liz, Cindy Jonas, I believe another Hall of Famer, Sella Hermsen and myself. Upcomingers that year, Trish, Murphy, Kim Jacobson, Wendy and Lisa, the DeSmit girls I call them, but with Lisa being one heck of a coach for the state of South Dakota in Bennett County. That was the junior year, and that's the year I got hurt, so that left us with 9 players. But then senior year finally came along, no injuries, with a couple of local girls coming along, Kelly Quam and Paula Emma, I never remember her last name, but Wagner now, for a great season. I really want to thank mostly, it was Sella, Murph, and Kelly and I played well together, and they helped me to have a great final season. And then finally, even though volleyball was my better sport, I came for basketball. So it starts with Coach Dittman. Like she said, I was there, 8 conference champs. She was coach of the year through the SDIC 3 years. Her ability to keep loading new talent every year was her strength, and that made us play to the best of our ability. Thanks, coaches. I know my freshman year, like she said, there was more than 3, but 3 ended our senior year. Donna, she kind of went under the spotlight until her senior year, but she was a big girl, but not really. She had Carol Freeman, a senior when we came in, and Roxy, a sophomore. And then you had Julie Feigs, Hall of Famer, Monique Sneak Nelson, Hall of Famer, Jan Beth Striper Nelson, who blew out her Achilles in practice that time. Donna learned from some of the best. And then, like Coach said, there was Heinze, Julie Hines. We came in together, 4 years friends, 3.5 years roommates. Really not good together, but she was a great person, teammate that would push you all the way, never wanting to leave practice. I could go on for her forever because she was a good person. But her and I had to come through some. Our freshman year, there's Monica Mathis, another Hall of Famer. Janelle Nellie Schaefer, Sella Hermson, the other Robin, Embrock. So, sophomore year, we lose Carol, but we get Suzanne Sam Mallard. Junior year, we lose Monica then, but we get again Murph and Amy Ralph. So yes, starting that senior year, 6 returners and get those 9 freshmen in. Reload. Paula Fetro, Miss Attitude. Cheryl Moore, Sue Sarda, and the Amy's, Miles and Jensen. We weren't supposed to win that year. Hines, Player of the Year. Dittman, Coach of the Year. And Julie and I, both SDIC conference players. I have to mention all these people because they are the ones that made me. I never looked at myself as being the best, but a good team player. I'd like to also thank my family, Nate, Jacob, and Nathan, for putting up with me the last 2 months since I've known this. But they do make my life complete. And in conclusion, every morning when I wake up, I hurt, I ache, and I'm in pain. I can now smile and say it has been all worth it. Thank you.
So I don't know if you guys caught that, but Coach Tom Farrell over here, you know, we don't think of him as Coach Tom Farrell, but we think of him as professor and announcer and all this. But Coach Tom Farrell was the coach of Robin back in the day at Dakota State for volleyball. So very good. All right. With that, as they take their pictures here, you know what? Looks like we have a few people taking a little break. We'll give them a second to, if you need to use the restroom or refill your drink, do so now. We'll wait for a few minutes and we'll come back. Okay. Few tables are empty. I'm not sure where they went. I guess they thought the social was starting before the end of the Hall of Fame, other than at the end of the Hall of Fame. But no, we're good. I'd like to introduce our next. First of all, congratulations to Robin. Thank you to Dr. Judy Dittman for the introduction. So appreciate it. Congratulations. It's awesome. Always wonderful to hear some of those, I can say this, old stories of what goes on, because, you know, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have a trainer at our beck and call all the time. So it's kind of cool to hear some of those stories. But our next one, I'd like to introduce Matt Kappa. Gabba. All right. Like the store. To introduce Dr. Theodore Sees. So come on up. Thank you.
I first met Ted Cease in the fall of '99 as a freshman. At the time, I was rooming with his older brother, Pat, and Ted would often stop by to hang out. The following year, Ted and I became roommates, which continued throughout the rest of our time at DSU. Ted is a great person who always wants the best for others. He not only encourages people to reach their goals, but sometimes motivates people motivates them to set goals they didn't even know they had. A perfect example of this was the time he intercepted my rejection letter for the Grandma's Marathon and edited it to say that I actually had been accepted, just so that I would go out and run a few miles. You never did, by the way. I never did, no. One time, Ted encouraged me to join him for a run. I remember confidently starting out running alongside of him, but by the end of the first mile, I realized why he was competing for a collegiate level program, and I was not. He's very good at what he does. Ted made the cross-country nationals in Kenosha, Wisconsin in 2002. I told him as a good roommate, I would drive there and watch him compete. So my buddy Matt and I, we left Sioux Falls after attending a Stampede hockey game. We drove through the night and arrived in Kenosha at 5:30 in the morning. After crashing on a friend's hotel room floor, we woke up at 9:30. We rushed over to the course just in time to see Ted walk out of the clubhouse to hop in the van to head home. We totally missed the race. Another fun memory of Ted competing was one of the high school and collegiate combined track meets. All of the high school athletes always loved this meet because they got to watch the steeplechase. They would all gather around the water pit during the steeplechase, and on the last lap, while Ted was in the lead, he mistimed his jump and caught his heel on the steeple and belly flopped right into the puddle of water. All the students erupted at what they witnessed, but Ted quickly got up and ran on to victory. You can see this picture in the program that's there. Growing up as one of 13 children on a farm west of Irene, Ted developed a strong work ethic and a competitive spirit that would later define a remarkable athletic career. A four-sport athlete at Irene High School, he earned all conference honors in 4 different sports and distinguished himself as one of the premier distance runners in South Dakota. He qualified for the state track and field meet every year from 8th grade through his senior year, finishing in the top 10 multiple times, including 2 runner-up performances. He continues to hold Irene High School records in the 3,200-meter run and the 3,200-meter relay. In cross country, Ted was a 4-time all-conference selection, and 3 years ago was inducted into the Irene High School Athletic Hall of Fame. At Dakota State University, Ted left an indelible mark on the Trojans program. He held school records in the 3,000-meter and 5,000-meter races for 18 years and recorded 2 of the top 30 times in the DSU cross-country record book. A 2-time national cross-country qualifier, he placed 39th at nationals in 2001 and 43rd in 2002. On the track, Ted qualified for outdoor nationals in both 2001 and 2. He also qualified for indoor nationals in 2001, 2, and 3, with a 7th place finish in the 3,000-meter race in 2001 and a 7th place finish in the 5,000-meter race in 2002. At that time, the top 6 finishers were recognized as All-Americans. Today, its top 8 places finish as All-Americans. For all of his accomplishments, Ted was honored at Dakota State University's as Dakota State University's outstanding male athlete in both 2002 and 2003. From humble beginnings to competing on the national stage, Ted exemplifies the perseverance, dedication, and excellence worthy of Hall of Fame recognition. Please help me welcome one of the newest members to the DSU Hall of Fame, Dr. Theodore Cease.
All right, so DSU is a techie school, right? So I'm just going to read it off my phone here. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for the introduction. To even be nominated or considered for the Hall of Fame at Dakota State University, it really is an honor. There are so many people that I would like to thank, but to be honest, if you would have told me years ago that one day I would be standing here accepting or being inducted into the DSU Hall of Fame, I would have thought you were crazy. I can still remember very vividly years ago when my journey at DSU began. Like many other 18-year-old kids, one of my main goals when leaving for college was really just to have fun, and I'm not the only one probably who did that. So to say I had fun was definitely an understatement. With time, I would love to think that the term water under the bridge applies, especially when it comes to old partying stories. But I guess we'll see what my parents think when I retell the story of my run-in with the Lake County local police. So it was about 4 weeks into my first year when I happened to attend a house party. Before I knew it, I was getting a ticket for underage drinking. You do know the story, right, guys? Okay, hopefully, okay. From my success in high school track, I thought I was a pretty good, decent runner, but apparently not fast enough to outrun the local cops. Sorry, Mom. Now, as scared as I was to inform my parents about that night, I was even more scared to inform Coach Buzz Stevenson. Yeah, exactly. I knew he was going to find out anyway, so I worked up the courage to tell him myself. I was not shocked by the disappointment that he had. He said many things, but one thing I remember him asking me was if I wanted to waste the God-given talents that so many would love and be lucky to have. At that moment, I knew that I wanted to see what my talents were blessed onto me. I knew I had to buckle down. I will admit there were many double practice days at those 5 a.m. runs where I would ask myself if all this was worth it. Having such amazing teammates and coaches cheering me on was a huge part of why I continued. Playing all sports in high school, I knew what it was like to be on a team, but training with the same teammates for cross country, then indoor track, then outdoor track, and then summer again, preparing for the next year, that was a completely different level. I was blessed to have such an amazing experience from each of those teammates that helped me reach the potential that I was. On top of thanking my teammates, I'd like to thank my roommates and friends who would drive out 15 miles and drop me off so I would just run back into Madison. These classmates and friends would cheer me on at cross-country meets and track meets, even attending some of my national events that they didn't watch. They were there, though, in spirit. I loved it. I would like to thank my parents for putting up with me when I would skip farm work so I could go on a long run, as well as how to be a good teammate and how to be a gracious winner and loser. I do not know anyone who has worked harder than my mom and my dad. Growing up on a large farm with 12 siblings, they sacrificed so much to allow their kids to participate in sports. I would like to thank DSU for giving me the chance to not only run, but for the scholarships received and the excellent education that propelled my career. I was also shocked to hear a congrats or a good luck from faculty or administration of whom I never even knew, yet somehow they knew me. A huge thanks goes out to Coach Buzz Stevenson. He saw the potential in me and always pushed me harder than I thought was possible. Being a farm kid from Prairie, South Dakota, it was easy to feel homesick, but his mentorship was a family away from family. Lastly, I'd like to thank God for giving me the talents and giving me the strength to push my limits. And none of this would be without him. So God works in mysterious ways, and I'm not supporting underage drinking in any way. But maybe I was meant to get caught at that party. And maybe would have not gotten the pep talk that I needed to have the success that I had in cross country and track, or to get to where I am today. Once again, thank you. This is a huge honor and privilege to be considered among the greatest at Dakota State University. Go Trojans.
I'm sorry, you look at Dr. C's right now, he doesn't look like a distance runner. He looks like one of those sprinters we saw at the World Championships here right now. Yep, exactly. Anyway, congratulations and thank you, Matt, and congratulations to Ted. Appreciate it. Thank you. Well, our next inductee is getting introduced by her Hall of Fame husband, Tyler Van Pearson. We'll be introducing his wife, Danielle. Come on up.
Hey everybody, congratulations to all the nominees here. Really excited to have everybody here. Such a great honor. Today I'm here to introduce Danielle. She's my college sweetheart, my wife, and very deserving of this award here. I saw her for the first time at a national meet her freshman year. She was at Cornerstone University at the time. Ended up getting second at the national track meet there. Very high honor there. And how ecstatic was I and all of our team when we learned that she would be transferring to Dakota State the year after. Here at Dakota State, she achieved numerous All-Americans, but I want to tell you about some of the kind of relationships and stuff that she built at Dakota State. Danielle's charisma could lift an entire room. I remember at practices, kind of before we all stretched or whatever, we're track and field, right? And we'd all kind of congregate, and Buzz would have us do our stretches and everything beforehand. And I mean, just all of the atmosphere, the charisma that she could bring to the room was just awesome. She showed that charisma on the bus, at cheering at the meets. You could always hear her cheering from a mile away. Very inspiring. Just a great teammate to have, right? And I think it inspired the whole team. I think it lifted the morale of the entire team. We ended up having an amazing handful of years with Dakota State track and field, kind of our generation. There were numerous All-Americans. It was amazing to travel to these national meets with a whole pile of people, and to see people like Danielle taking home awards every single time and just showing the whole nation how good Dakota State could be. We've together, Danielle and I have 4 children. We've got they're all in all kinds of sports or whatever. Danielle's the volleyball coach for our oldest, and we've got volleyball, we've got basketball, we've got soccer, we've got swimming, we got all kinds of stuff going on at home. And she is an amazing mother. She is an amazing wife. Let me tell you about Danielle's kind of dedication. She's got work ethic that is incredibly top tier. Just showing up for practice day in and day out, and it was more than just workouts. She took it the whole 9 yards. It was nutrition, it was sleep management, it was kind of everything, research. interacting with coaches and teammates and trying to figure out exactly what needed to happen. Danielle's got grit. She knew what it took to win, and she could always find something deep down inside to bring that out. Danielle shows her dedication at home, chasing all of these kids in their sports, whether it's coaching the volleyball or a midnight or 4 a.m. feed for the infant. It's just amazing to watch and be a part of her life. So with that, I would like you guys all to kind of help me congratulate Danielle for her Hall of Fame. So thank you. You earned it, Danielle.
All right. Well, I don't know if I can follow that, to be honest. Thank you all for being here today. Tyler did an incredible job. He's an incredible husband. He was an incredible athlete. As he had mentioned, too, we met at Dakota State after I transferred from Cornerstone University. And he also was a phenomenal athlete. He is a Hall of Famer. And he was a really good, like 152, 800 runner, multiple All-American. So it's great to see his dedication through our family and his work ethic too. He's also cybersecurity major here, bachelor's and master's. So yeah, go Trojans with that in that program. So yes, thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate all the details and everything that Bud and Nick and Jenny and the whole event team have done here. It's phenomenal to come out. I come from the nonprofit event world, so I know how all the little details and all the little things have to come together. So thank you so much for that and for inviting me to be here today. Thank you to my beautiful family. As Tyler mentioned, we have 4 beautiful kids. 4-month-old Caden, 4-year-old Ivor, we have 7-year-old Gemma, and then 9-year-old Lillian. So we're definitely very busy. And I want to go ahead and talk about a little bit about my time at DSU. So as Dr. C's had mentioned earlier, there's good old Buzz Stevenson. So when I had transferred, he was just very excited that I was here. And if you know him, he likes to call you by your last name. He also knows the mascot of the school you were in and knew all the stats. But I was from Montana, so I kind of gave him a challenge that he didn't really know. He knew all the South Dakota schools, but he didn't know all the mascots in Montana. But he's the type he would call you by your last name too. So anytime I was like, okay, Buzz, what do I do on my form? He's like, Ro, you just know what to do. Just go do it. I'm like, all right. So just a really fun coach, and it was a really wonderful team to be on. One of my top memories would be the 2010 Indoor Nationals at Johnson City. That was the year where we had multiple Hall of Famers that were inducted in 2023. You had your Andy Coy and your Matt Fidler, and of course Tyler and Anthony Dreeland, who was the previous track coach here. And we took home a lot of All-American hardware that year, which was great. And Buzz, of course, was so proud and excited and over the moon about that. So that was great to see. And then when I was here, I was a business major in marketing. So DSU definitely has a big piece of my heart, and it's been nice to stay connected. My advisor, who is Deb Tech, and she's the marketing guru of everything, I was able to come back 2 years ago and do a fun little marketing presentation for her. So it's just nice to come back to where DSU, set everything up for me and my journey on the track and then also off the track for me professionally. So that's been phenomenal. And I just want to say thanks to my mom, who was at every track meet, rain or shine, all the way from middle school, high school, college, everywhere. So Thank you, Mom, and then my beautiful kids and husband. Thank you for always being supportive in everything that I do. Regardless of what's going on in our lives, I appreciate you and my beautiful kids. They actually had a color run today at school. So we, of course, showered before we came. But it was fun to like see how much fun they had and just that kind of passion that you had in a certain sport. It's nice to see your kids like enjoy it and truly have fun, because I think that's what comes down to sports and passion and anything you do in life is if you're not having fun with it, you know, it can be hard to keep going. So I'm glad that they're having fun and they see the joy in everything that they do too. And thank you to my awesome in-laws too for wrangling my kids today. I appreciate that, because it really does take a village, as they say. And congratulations to all the inductees here and all your hard work and journey throughout the years. And thank you for everything. Go Trojans.
Well, thank you very much, Tyler, and congratulations to Danielle. Appreciate it. And how cool is that they found each other at Dakota State many years ago. All right, our last, but certainly not least, Larry, pay attention. Quit talking, pay attention. Last, but certainly not least, our last inductee is our very own Larry Voss. I'd like to draw your attention. Oh, there she is. Whew. Thinking I don't know what to do. To the screens for Larry's introduction.
Congratulations on being named a member of the 2025 class for the Dakota State Hall of Fame. This is such a well-deserved award. I remember our first conversation shortly after I became the Trojans head football coach. We talked about the possibility of moving you from a linebacker position down to a defensive line spot. And your exact words were, "I just want to win, coach." Well, we got it done. You played such a huge role in helping to get our program on the winning track. And we're not just a great player, but we're named to the All-American team as well. In addition, your leadership was invaluable to our success. You were well respected by your teammates, coaches, and the opponents that we played against. I appreciated everything you were willing to do to help us succeed, and were such a team player that you even agreed to be a punter your senior year. Not many 290-pound punters in the game. I wish I were able to be there in Madison to help you celebrate your honor and be at this event, but it just didn't work out for me. Regardless, congratulations on the special honor, and I'm proud to say I was your coach.
Cool is that? Come on up, Larry. I don't think you knew about that, did you? All right. I got a football over in the truck over here. We're going to try that punting thing. How's that work? No? Please? You guys are in for that? All right. After this, we're having Larry out with the punting.
Oh.
No?
No, not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Smiley's all up for it, though. Well, congratulations to Robin, Brian, Ted, Danielle. This is kind of a special deal. This ain't my deal, talking. So I want to thank my parents, my mom who used to chase me in her car, pacing me for the 6-minute mile. My dad who taught me almost everything I know about football. And some of the greatest guys I ever played ball with. To be honest, DSU, it wasn't my first choice. It wasn't my second choice. It just turned out it was the best choice. I met my wife here. Some of my best friends I ever had. It's something a guy never forgets. I feel like a girl. Anyway. Oh, good Lord. Anyway. You know, I played with a lot of good guys, played with a lot of great guys. There's two of them here tonight. I didn't know we were going to be here. What is wrong with me? John and Troy. I'm not up here without you two. Or Malcolm. The four of us. For 3.5 years, we killed ourselves. I love you guys. I really do. I don't see as much as I should, or as much as I can. But seriously, without John, Troy, Malcolm, doing everything we could together, you know, I'm not up here because I didn't do it by myself. Those guys deserve as much recognition as I do. Because without John, I get double teamed every play of the game. And without Smiley, they just ran on outside zone every play of the game. And my old brother's here from Washington, and I competed against him every day of my life. But this is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Sorry I got all sobby on you, buddy. But I'm really happy to see some of the people that are here tonight and all my family that came to, and friends that came. So thank you.
Oh, thanks, Larry. I'm telling you what, this is why I love these events, because it brings people back together and places they haven't been for a while. And Larry's a perfect example of that. I'm over here crying myself, Grace. I'm sorry, Larry, I'm with you. Anyway, couple of announcements, and then we would like all the Hall of Fame inductees to come over here with their plaques. I think there's one up here. We got boxes over here to take a group picture, and then we'll finish up there. However, those of you that would like, and I'm assuming there's a couple people over here, maybe a few over here that would like to partake, we'll be down at Sporty's continuing this social after we're done here. So come on down, Sporty's. Some of you are a little older, so it was Sportsman's back in the day, so same place. Some of you got to be impressed that I knew that. I'm sorry. You got to know that's pretty good. Yeah, I've been here a long time. So anyway, we appreciate if anybody wants to come down just to chat and have a little conversation, have a drink, whatever. Come on down. If not, tomorrow parade, Hall of Famers, inductees will meet out front of the field house at 9-ish. We'll get you on Prostrello's promised me the pristine. I'm not guaranteeing your driver is going to be all that good. It's over here. It was going to be me, but I got to drive the president. So I know it's scary. She's scared. But we'll have a great time. Meet up by the field house at 9:15, and when you're done, we'll get you to the Hex, and then we'll have a great time. Tailgate at 11. If you want any tours of campus at 10:30. If you want a tour of the Beacom complex before, during, or after the game, see me. I'll take care of that. I'm not kidding. If you haven't been there, you're going to be impressed. I always say crazy. It's crazy in a good sense. It's crazy good. And I hope to see you all tomorrow. And what else? Alumni. Flower arrangements, please take those. Larry, I'm assuming you'll take yours off your table. Larry, take that. Make sure you take that flower arrangement with you. All right, enough jokes. Anyway, pictures afterwards. Thank you so much. What a great night. Great to meet all of you people, the new inductees, families. Thank you so much. Thanks, Sodexo and my staff for making it a wonderful night. Let's continue downtown if you choose. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Thank you.